I'm Sean, founder of Word Funnel, and I do marketing. A few months ago, a fish company came to me and asked me, how can I increase their sales? Now, they were a highly commoditized product in an oversaturated market, and they needed a marketing plan. They thought that they could bring someone in to tweak their Google ads or their Instagram ads, and that is somehow going to dramatically improve their business. But when I took on their project, I showed them a much better path forward that would take them from selling fish in Amazon to becoming a $100 million annual recurring revenue data analytics nutritional platform. This is the presentation that I made to the client for how they can transform their business, and that's what I'm going to go over with you today. Show you how we transform businesses and how you can really grow and scale your own business. Now, this is the presentation that I call the 1.868 gram strategy, the number that will change food. This is the actual nutrition label. Now, I've blurred out all the details for the company name for privacy, but this is their nutrition label. And as somebody who was taking on this project, I started doing research, I started looking on their website and their products, and when I saw this, this immediately stuck out to me. Personally, I'm obsessed with my nutrition, and I always look at the nutrition labels, and so when I saw this 1.868 grams of fat on their nutrition label, this stuck out to me as immediately weird. I've never seen 3 decimal places. Now, as a natural marketing person, this immediately struck me as like, well, that's actually like a very interesting way that you can differentiate your product. And it made me think like, maybe that's what they were doing. Like this was something intentional and strategic. And then I started thinking, well, maybe it's just a mistake. And I was thinking, why do other companies not do this? When you have this strategy, there are several important considerations that you need to take into account as to why a lot of other companies don't already do this. 2 of them are very practical, and the first is you have a biological product that it will always have slight differences in the nutritional content. So one piece of fish may have 1.868 grams of saturated fat, while the piece right next to it may have 1.875 grams of saturated fat. And so you would need to analyze every single piece of fish and get the exact nutrition information for every piece. And that can be super time consuming and expensive when you have to outsource that process to somebody else. The other practical consideration that goes along with that is when you do have basically different information for every single product, every single piece of fish, that means you need a new label for every single piece of fish in order to have that information available in the packaging. And so that could mean having to print millions and millions of different packages. And that becomes very time consuming, very costly, and creates a lot of headaches for the manufacturer. And when you have this product that is a fish product that will expire soon, time is of the essence. So this strategy takes all of that into account, and we address how we overcome all of those 3 obstacles. And so essentially, as I mentioned, we want to go from selling fish to owning the nutrition data analytics platform. And this is how we want to reposition this company. And so the first thing is the rebranding and the repositioning and what the end user will experience. And so, as I said, we won't use any company information, but this is the kind of placeholder name that we presented for the project. So we call this 3 decimal health food. And so you go from this very kind of standard brand with Walmart packaging to 3 decimal health foods. There is a QR code on every package. So the user can download the app, scan the QR code, and then see at the 3 decimal places every piece of nutrition information for that specific package of fish. And so this really targets the most valuable segment of the food industry, which is called the biohacker segment, the people who are obsessed with their nutrition and who are willing to pay a premium for that. The next is that you have this hub and spoke lab. And so for a lot of technical considerations, this could be something very expensive, but we turn it into a profit center. And for various compliance regulations, this was kind of the best model that we worked out, where you have one central accredited lab, which basically has all of your expensive equipment, all of your key personnel, and they have these sub-feeder labs across the country. So this basically allows you to collect that information very quickly without having to ship the physical product back and forth, and still be totally compliant with all of the federal regulations in the processing of the nutrition information. And this lets you basically have nationwide coverage of rapid processing for your food, being able to collect that information for about $3.5 million, which is not a lot of money for this company. What this does is it takes you from your current one revenue stream, which is harvesting and selling fish, to at least 3 revenue streams. So you are harvesting and selling fish like you are now, although you now have a more defensible brand strategy where you have this unique positioning of being able to provide this super transparency to the user, to the customer, that nobody else, no other food company can do this, because you own that unique lab infrastructure. And that is very good for a company who's selling to Walmart. So when Walmart goes to squeeze you next year to lower your prices, now you have this defensibility for this brand demand. And so that helps to protect your bottom line. The next revenue stream is because you have the ability to do this analytics and collect this information on every single piece of fish, you can now segment your best pieces of fish. So think about the lowest saturated fat, the lowest cholesterol, the highest protein pieces of those fish, and you offer those as a premium subscription product to your direct-to-consumer line on your website. Then the third most powerful feature here, the most powerful revenue stream, is you take that processing that's required for every food company. Most food companies have to send sample batches of their products out to a third-party lab to do the analysis and tell them basically what's in the product. So now you own all of that. So now, because you have this unique ability, you can offer that as a service to other companies, to other nutrition companies, other food products, and other food brands. And so this went from OpEx to CapEx. So from operating expense to capital expenditure. And so that's basically the difference between renting and owning. So you went from paying a third party to do this food analysis for you, to now you're selling that service and profiting from your competitors, doing it for them. And all of that is basically already exists. We don't have to build anything from scratch. People have figured out how to do this already. The main challenge, the main question mark in the strategy is really around the FDA. So how are we going to deal with this current FDA regulatory environment? And so for that, we have the mass media public campaign. We want to position this as the 1% versus the 0.001%. That the FDA is not just making it easier for consumers, they're holding back valuable information about the products that we eat and that we put into our body, and that the consumers demand transparency. And pushing this narrative is going to apply pressure to the FDA and speed them up to change those regulations. And if we can achieve that, even in the best case scenario, that's still going to take a few years, but by the time that happens, we are now in a position where we are the sole company in the world who can provide this rapid data analysis. So when you have this huge campaign, these consumers are demanding this, and the FDA changes the regulations, now every other food brand in the world is going to want to start offering this service, and they will come to us for the data analytics and for us to be able to do that processing for them across the country. And so that's how we go from fish seller in Walmart to $100 million annual recurring revenue nutrition analytics platform. And so this was my pitch to the client. They ended up going in a different direction. We did some different work for them, but I want to know what you think about this. Is this a good idea? Would you have gone for this pitch if you were them? Is this a terrible idea? Does nobody care about this? How many decimal places do you want on your fish? Please let me know, and thank you for watching.